Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and you are listening to another episode of the world famous, the Universal of the best podcast in one, two, three galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is June. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what day it is. I know today is Wednesday, June the 20th or the 21st, something like that. You have to forgive me, ladies and gents. Okay, it's been a long day, but we are here to record an episode for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we haven't done in a long time. Back-to-back episodes, okay? We need everybody to come back. We need everybody to show up and show out. We need all the downloads. Download all 999,000, 100, 200, 300, 400,000 episodes. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, there's a good chance I might get on the radio. A radio host is in trouble. His job might be in jeopardy, and I think I could take his spot. So I need all y'all to download it, and I need all y'all to go to the radio station, any radio station, and be like, I want to hear that Tony Rizano. Okay, he's the greatest podcaster on God's green earth. So please help me out with that. Okay, I appreciate it. But today, ladies and gentlemen, all jokes aside, but today, ladies and gentlemen, we have something very important to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about marketing, and I want to talk to you about the biggest idiots we have in Georgia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest idiots we have in Georgia. As I was driving today, as I was driving, um, and I made it to Gwinnett County, and I thought to myself, Gwinnett County has to have the most idiotic people up here. And why do I say that, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, hey, listen, Gwinnett County is a lovely place. You got all the Norcross, Duluth, this one, that one. Peachtree Corners, blah, 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 blah. Lawrenceville, blah, 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 blah. It's lovely, lovely place, this Gwinnett County. But the people in Gwinnett County, ladies and gentlemen, are not bright. Okay? Why do I say this, ladies and gentlemen? Because every day as you're driving in Gwinnett County, if you live in Atlanta, if you've been to Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen, do not drive into Gwinnett County. They do not want the Marta. They do not want the Marta. They don't want the rail system. They don't want the bus. They think that people are going to come and break into the house. No, I'm just kidding. The reason why they don't want people is because, people that ride the bus are, economically more crunched, okay? People that ride the bus. Listen, I love public transportation. I'll be right there with you. I love the bus. I love the train. Wish I could take it every day. I hate driving to work. I hate commuting. I hate driving, period, at this point in my life, okay? I'd rather catch the bus. I'd rather catch the train. I'd rather be able to jump in my car, drive a couple miles to the MARTA station, get on the train, and zip line from one side of Atlanta to the other. Okay, from Gwinnett County down to Henry County and back up to Cobb County, and go home. I would like that. I would like to get out and adventure the stuff. But the traffic is always so bad, and it's getting worse, and it's getting worse, and it's getting worse. And we cannot call ourselves a major city if we don't fix the transit system. But why do they not fix the transit system, ladies and gentlemen? Why? Because of the news, because the marketing of the cars. Why get on the model where you can drive this new SUV, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's marketing, it's the news cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot believe everything that you see on the news. They won't talk about the 999,000 times that somebody rode the Marta and they was A-okay. They always talk about the one time that somebody gets stabbed, and it's very tragic, don't get me wrong. But we all know if it bleeds, it leads, okay, ladies and gentlemen? So the news is always gonna go, they're not gonna go, well, today we had 900 Marta rides and they were all safe. They're gonna say, no, we had one mugging on the Marta. And so, it's a bad look for the MARTA. It's a bad look for the city of Atlanta, for all the counties, because you want to be able to. if you call yourself a major, you want to be a major player. You got to have major things, you know. And one thing that we lack in the city of Atlanta, and it's been this way since I've been living here for the last 20 years. I am a Georgia native at this point. Okay, I met my wife here. Kids are going to grow up here. Hey, I'm on ATL, okay? But I love the place, but geez Louise, the marketing of the Marta is terrible. The idiocy of the people in Gwinnett County, terrible. Why do I say that? Because they're worried about home appreciation. Listen, your house is not an asset. Your house is a liability. Point blank, period. Okay. Let's cut to the chase. Everybody thinks, oh man, if I buy this house, it's gonna listen. Owning a home, great. Owning a home is wonderful. Owning a home is beautiful. I like going out there myself. I like walking around, checking out my little property, blah, 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 blah. But until you actually get the title, get the deed, you own nothing. You're just a high class rent payer, okay? But they're like, oh, the property value is gonna go down, blah, 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 blah. Listen, a lot of people, they don't have a pot to piss in and the window to throw it out of. So what do they depend on? Oh, my home, my home, my home, my home, my home, my home. You know, me and my wife was talking today. We was talking about doing renovations. The renovations are great. The renovations is gonna be cool, but will it add value to the home? Maybe, maybe not. I can't, I can't, I can't fight the market. If the value of the home goes down, then it goes down. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do sometimes, okay? You get to a neighborhood and you're like, "Hey, this is a great neighborhood. This is gonna go up," and it don't. It's just that's the risk you take, you know. I'm just saying. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as I was driving today, I was driving up to Swanee. I know a lot of you don't know what I'm talking about. It does not matter. But I was driving and they had a World Cup match downtown, and they had I forget what else they had going on, maybe a Braves game. But I just thought to myself, there's so much traffic. It took me 2 hours to go from one side of Georgia. I was over here on the west end of Georgia, closer to the Alabama border. It took me 2 hours to go from there to Swanee. It was only 70 miles, but it took about 2 hours and probably 15 minutes. That's too long. That is too much long. Why? Because these idiots do not want to expand the martyr. And I wrote the governor, listen, I wrote the governor a long, lengthy letter talking about, the MARTA, and we need to extend, and we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to have rail. Because it would be nice to wake up one day and say, hey kids, do you want to go to Savannah? Get on the train, go down to Savannah, go to the beach, get back on the get back, spend the night maybe down there, get back on the train the next morning. That would be great, That would be wonderful. That would be beautiful. We should be more of a connected the public transportation needs to be more of a connected thing, Um because now the drivers are worse. People that drive cars, they suck at driving, okay? Listen, I am a professional driver. I have been for the last 20 years, 21 years of my life. I've driven everywhere from Augusta, Maine to Bellevue, Washington, okay? I've done it all. I've drove every area, every nook and cranny you could think of, huh? From the mountains to the desert. I drove it all, okay? People are the worst drivers that they ever been, okay? They have attitudes, they think, "I own the road," they think they can merge when they want to, it don't work like that, it's quite a headache, it's quite a show, it's quite a, you know, show. I don't try not to curse no more because walking with the Lord. But, what I'm telling you, Gwinnett County, idiots. What does this have to do with you? What does this have to do with your market? Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta tap in to whatever market you are trying to reach, whatever audience you're trying to reach. You gotta tap in. What can the martyr do to make the people of Gwinnett County see that they need the martyr and they actually need the martyr because it will save these people so much time. These people don't realize all the time they're wasting sitting in traffic like dodo birds. Okay, they don't know how much time they're wasting. They waste a lot of time. You don't realize how much time we waste going to and from work. Okay. That alone is a big waste of time, you know? And as the sun is not set on my life, but it can go down any moment, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Hey, listen. God, I am blessed to be 47 years old, but I know and you know and we all know it could go anytime, okay? And so listen, the sun ain't the sun ain't rising. The sun has already risen on my life, okay? Now it's just sit there. Eventually it's gonna go down. But you and I both know you don't want to waste a lot of time as you get older, okay? You want to cut to the chase sometimes. This is the beautiful thing about being a real adult, okay? Being this age. It's like if you was dating somebody at 47, you're not gonna him and her gonna say, look, honey, this ain't working, okay? This ain't working. When you're 21, you're hard, you're like, well, she's giving me some. I don't know if I should break up with her or not. But now, nah, you cut to the chase. But what I'm telling you is, ladies and gentlemen, how can the martyr think about this? How can the martyr market itself to be like, hey, y'all need me, okay? And people need a martyr. They just want to be ignorant, okay, and dumb and worried about everything else under the sun. They don't want poor people moving into their neighborhood, which God forbid, if anybody makes under 50,000 moves into your neighborhood, I can't be next to them, blah 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 blah. Listen, at the end of the day, you got good neighbors, you got bad neighbors. Doesn't matter the doesn't matter the race, doesn't matter the wealth. Some people take care of their property, some people do not. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what can a martyr do to separate themselves and become the entity that I know that they need to be, and we all know that they need to be? Now, I'm really talking local today, okay? I apologize, but this has a lot to do with marketing. How can you tap into a market? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. How do you want to tap into your market? How do you want to tap into your audience? How do you want to reach your audience? These are things that you need to think about. Take a big old sheet of paper, okay, and write everything that you want to do down. You need to create a vision board for yourself and create the vision board and see where you, and when I say vision board, I don't mean create something, write it down, and then never do nothing about it. You got to start doing things about your what do you want, okay? Because it comes to a point where it's just after a while, it's like, hey, you either gonna get married to that girl or you're not. Okay. You're either gonna have that baby or you're not. Okay. You want kids, yes or no. Go do your best, start trying to have kids, okay? Whatever, like you wanna buy that car, you wanna buy that BMW, go buy that BMW, figure it out. Okay. Just start going to do, putting in the effort you know um prayer works, but you actually have to do things to get the prayers going. God hears you, God sees you, God hears you, but God also wants you meet me halfway. Meet me halfway. Meet me halfway. What can a martyr do to meet the people halfway? What can you do to meet the audience halfway? How do you want to show up for your audience? How do you want to market to them? Where do you want to find them at? Always be thinking about where can I find more and more of my audience. Always be thinking about that. Okay. The more you think about that stuff, the better off you will be. The more you think about your business and not worry about who's wearing what to the Met Gala or who's dating who or when Taylor Swift and Buddy getting married. The less you think about that kind of crap, the more you think about focus on you and your business and what you can do to control that, the better off you will be. All right. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you want to start setting yourself up for success. You want to start setting yourself up to create a system that you can have the money flowing in and out. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, that's one of the most important things you can do. Listen, I'm telling you, I've worked a long time I worked a long time, a lot of hours to make a buck. Okay. The best thing you can do is work real hard at your business, your content, create that, dig that trench, and watch that water start dripping, and then watch it start flowing. Okay, land of milk and honey. That's what we're looking for. But, ladies and gentlemen, what if you were the martyr? What would you do? Answer me that question. If you was the martyr, you had to market yourself to all these people that live in all these different places and say, hey, I want to come. I want to be the bridge to bring all y'all together. Okay, what would you do? How would you market yourself to get these boobs to open up? and let you in. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. You can always email me, okay, and let me know. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We will be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizano, Colonel Tony Rizano. Okay. As you well know, I'm a Kentucky Colonel, so respect. Okay. The Honorable Colonel, whatever. I gotta get me one of them KFC outfits. But anyway, ladies and gents, I appreciate you for listening. Thank you for your time. God bless each and every one of you. We'll be back tomorrow. And as always, everybody, peace.